Usa. Let's get this show on the road. Oh, my spine knows it's a timer. Furugu. All right, Myro. Let's remind the people. Painting goo 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 goo. Painting goo 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 goo. Where's my sip sip? Painting goo goo goo. Painting goo 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 goo. Painting goo. It's painting goo. It's fucking goo. It's tree. Cha-cha-chi. It's shit. It's shit, isn't it? It's been like that for weeks now. I can't find a bit for it. I can't do it. Sing that part. I don't know. Painting me, painting you, or painting you, painting me. It was good. Why did I? Painting goo 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 goo. Painting goo 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 goo. Maybe I should just start painting me and you know? Painting goo goo goo. Painting goo 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 goo. Painting goo. It's painting goo. It's fucking goo. Painting me, painting you. It just fits. It's Reich Grove. It fits. Painting goo. Painting goo. Ugh. Maybe I should just do something with Sip Sip or Rant Rant or I don't know. Myro, what do you think? That's what I thought. I agree. I agree completely. Painting goo. 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 Painting goo. Painting goo 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 goo. Painting goo goo goo. It's painting fucking goo. It's fucking goo. Painting goo. Painting goo. Painting goo. Painting goo. Painting goo. Painting goo. Goo 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 goo. Painting goo. Goo 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 goo. That's it, you marvelous monkey. You petrified primate. Remind the people the meaning of beauty and honor. Painting goo. Painting goo. Goo. Is it beautiful? Is it not? If you had any honor, you would pay the monkey! And don't ask why I don't pay the monkey. I have told the story many times. There's a perfectly good reason why I don't pay the monkey. So don't get on my ass or my back about not paying the monkey. Okay? Greetings and welcome to another glorious episode of PEINTEINGU. I'm your host, a gloriously mad defender, demigod of PEINTEINGU. Another day, another PEINTEINGU. A glorious right of heaven is a not shining brightery the last few days. It is a winter, and I live in Ireland. It is dark, it is gloomy, and thank fuck I hereditary generate my own vitamin D being a ginger prick, because by God the wreck of Euro Sunshine can be depressing. Especially for us hobbits. Even the big ones, like me. I say big, not small. I am neither large, nor am I tiny. I'm just shiny. Emmanuel Godsonu, Margie Mayu, Maxstad Melu. Welcome out to painting. Oh God. Oh, my spine definitely knows its time for the goo. I was right about the experimental impromptu goo that we used Emmanuel's glorious paints for. His glorious goo that he provided for us. It did buckle, and it is sticky and plasticky. But that's acrylics. But they are good acrylics. Out of the many acrylics I have used, they're not fucking bad. They're not bad at all, you know? They're definitely not shit. But I have grown quite fond of the goo. It is actually not painting goo that originated the whole saying goo for everything. It was actually the fact that I use gouache, which I think may actually come from just mixing goo with ash. Makes sense. Painting is fascinating alchemical mixtures. It's glorious. But we have an Antartican ferret spatula to finish. Spatula! Complete with Nazi penguins and a what's a like if a drive-by is what's a flyby? A flyby? You know? But is it flying? Does it have anti-grav engines? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Nobody goes. Making breakfast. What are you having for breakfast, Max? Bacon and eggs? It better be bacon and eggs. I've got bad thunderstorms, hard rain and wind. I like listening to the thunder and rain. I just hope it stops before I have to drive it. Yeah, like thorns. Thorns? Storms are epic. Beautiful. I love it when it rains. But too much of anything is too much. Do you know what I mean? That's why it's called too much. I get sick of the sun. I get sick of the snow. Like, it's just as well I live in Ireland. You know? It's like I'm the opposite of fickle. I just get bored of shit. It's like, oh, it's lovely and hot. A little while later, it's too fucking hot. Oh, it's nice and cool in here. A little while later, it's fucking freezing in here. Sick of this. You know, the same experience when you have dinner sometimes. Like, oh, you know what? I'm starving. Like 5 minutes into eating your dinner, depending on what it is, you're like, "What? Jesus, I'm stuffed." It's hilarious how quickly we reach our thresholds of certain things. And then kind of terrifying how seemingly infinite some thresholds can be. You know, when you look at like society and it's like, do people not learn? Like, when are things going to change? Is it just going to keep going this way? It's like, yeah, it just keeps going. Like some kind of swirling mass of hatred. Right. I need to cleanse my chi. I am tired and cranky. Ooh. I sent a tingle down my spina. Ugh, I wonder what pitch or hertz or resonance that ritual dish is. It's not even a gong. I mean, there's a reason I call it a tiny dong. Because it goes ding and it doesn't go gong. Eggs, cheese, onion omelette. Nice. Very nice. Me like omelettes. I like eggs. I like cheese. And I like onions. I like it. I like it a lot. Speaking Japanese sometimes just fucks up my brain. I like it a rot. You like rot? Like, what is this? Rotten things are generally not seen as good. Please believe me becoming Please bereave me is still one of the funniest things to me. Oh, God. Maybe one of these streams I'll actually manage to maintain. I think one stream, recently enough, I managed to maintain character for, like, most of the stream. But if I'm not feeling the flow, I'm not, like, feeling the flow, like, do you know what I mean? Sometimes Defender will just, like, I can sustain it for, like, 20 minutes at least or some shit. Just, like, rabbiting on industry! Getting everything tonality correctly. Cadence. Pronunciation. Tonage. Proper comedic timing. Like, oh God, my brain is like a squirrel right now. I'm exhausted, but I'm also like freshly injected with some caffeine. So I think I need some metal. I think I need some metal. I think I need fucking aggressive, chuggy tones that will wake me the fuck up and get my chi throwing. Right. What do we got? I put on the new metal shit last time first, didn't I? Let's see. What was the... Warbound Deathcore. That's the mood I'm in. Let's go kill something. In Antarctica.
What story will you?
Let's go kill some Nazi penguins. I kept thinking, like... it's not like I had dreams about it or anything, but I kept, like, daydreaming about how funny it would be for, like, the bad guys in a cartoon to be a bunch of Nazi penguins with the helmets over their eyes. Like, you know, all you see is their beak and then just, like, a helmet or a hat. Like, you can't see their eyes. And, like, they're all just, like, standing there with, like, you know, they'd have their flippers or their wings or whatever down by their sides and shit most of the time. Yes! Yes! This orca agrees with my current mood. I'm bracing for dealing with car/mechanic issues today. Gotta center my chi also. The frustrations of mechanical difficulties. The intricacies of engineering can be quite frustrating indeed. Can you feel it? That's some good shit. Where's my rag? My former royer, now divine rag that I place upon my knee in preparation for the goo. It's a bit loud. It's a bit too loud. I'm being oppressed. I'm being oppressed by the matter. Right. I forgot to boil the bitches. Shit. I will have to remember to do that later. I have brushes here and I have brushes over there. So I have so many bitches. So many bitches here on PEINTEINGU. Sabaru-sama, you are rater. How many seppukus is that this year? This month even? Or even this week? You Canadian fuck. How dare you be rate? We're not even halfway through the week. And you're dwindling. You're dwindling, Sabaru-sama. Okay. I shall now cover this parrot in goo. Right. What am I looking for? I don't know what I'm doing yet. That's what I'll do the penguins. I shall Nazify the penguins. That's the first thing I should do this morning. This evening. This afternoon. Today! I just love the idea of like an old lady in Tennessee just being like, yeah, I like this music. An ad! Already! Oh god! Oh, it was a short one. Only a quickie. It was a quickie. I don't like quickies. I've never liked quickies. Art should not be rushed. That might be too much goo. Oh, gross! Painting goo 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 goo. Painter go 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 go. Painter go 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 go. I can't growl while drinking coffee. I don't know why. I need to be all watery. Can't get it. No, I can't get the growl. Sometimes when I'm making coffee and dinner, I can get it. It's like singing in the shower, you know? It's like, do my vocal cords have stage fright? That doesn't make any sense. I sing on the stream all the time, like... I thought it was hilarious when Sleepy House Bear was like, why does your accent disappear when you start singing? Like... They're all just getting like Nazi sashes. Painting goo 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 goo. Yeah, like how funny would it be if it was like just do a cartoon where they're in Antarctica, or the plucky little heroes have visited Antarctica for some reason, and they come across like intermittently they keep catching a brief glimpse of just like one of these penguins like in the distance on the horizon on a hill or something, just staring at them, not moving, you know. And just throughout the episode, like they're just like, look, there it is again. There's just a penguin standing there dressed as a Nazi, and like you play like, you know, like like, you know, like a scary sound bite or something like every time they show up on screen. Ah, Desmondo! You are also Ray too. Defender growl like a constipated Mongolian. It's one of those things, like, it's actually one of the few things I've come across, actually. I think I'm just, like, musically not, like, I'm not, my frequency is not built for, like, sound. It's built for, like, visual stuff and, like, physical shit. Like, I don't know, because, like, any experience with, like, singing or, like, instruments or music, like, I'm just not good at it, like, not, like, naturally anyway, like. But it's funny how, like, I've spent, like, probably accumulatively over the years, maybe like a couple of dozen hours, like practicing that shit and singing along to certain tunes and all. Like there's one I'm obsessed with lately called Flying the Black Flag by a band called Shadow of Intent. And like, oh, it's such a tune. Like, I'd stick it on, but the fucking thing would probably be like, oh, copyright or whatever. Like, it's such a fucking good tune. Like, surely I won't get, like, fucked over for just, like, playing one song. You know? I'm reviewing it! I'm doing a review midstream of a song I really like. It's free advertising for the band. Like, why would you fucking fuck with my stream for doing that? Like, this song is fucking, like, subterfuge emerges from the confusion. Like, I can't, like, this guy's so good at it, like. And the song's like legit so good. This is definitely, this is my go-to now when I'm like making dinner. I just stick this on to like get my mood going. Like, this is just fucking whopper. Like, and like, I'm not really big into like this genre of metal. I think it could be a bit too much. Listen to that. He legit sounds like a demon. I fucking love it. And now he sounds like a goblin. Slaughter all the Fators. Cracks. Like, it's fucking, like, the technique behind it is really fascinating once you start doing it and all. Like, I find it so cool that a human can sound like that. Same with the Mongolian throat sing and stuff. Devastated. I love those ones. It's like if you listen to metal at all, it's like there's this term called like the perfectly placed fuck, where it's like, yeah, fuck, you know, like right on the right beat or the end of like a breakdown or something, like just like there, where it's like, wait, yeah, like it's fucking, I love it, like. Like, it's fucking hard to do. Really hard to do, like, especially sustained ones. Song is so good, so high energy.
It matters not. I fly the black flag.
It's a fucking kick-ass tune. I can't get enough of it the last while. Like, it's so fucking good. Like, like almost every time now when I go down and make dinner, I just bring the laptop down and I stick that on. And I'm just like, ugh, metal. Like, I fucking love it. Like, the pace of it, the main riff, like the breakdowns, like all of it, like just, and then your man's vocals, like, cause like a lot of metal vocals can be just like trash. And, like, it does just sound like gurgling and fucking noise and stuff. But, like, there's dudes who can do it. And they sound, like, otherworldly. And at the same time, they're saying, like, these, like, really sophisticated... Like, not really sophisticated, but, like, they're saying, like, you know, lots of syllables, words in, like, a poet... Like, and it makes sense. Like, when you read the lyrics, like, do you know what I mean? It's like a story or something, like, and it's, like, really eloquent and articulate. And, like, don't get me wrong, obviously they use a lot of words that, like, have, like, nice phonetics to them so they could fit in, like, especially with the techniques and stuff, like certain words are more suited to being, like, fucking break or force or, like, do you know what I mean? Like, there's certain, like, there's certain words, or guilty. Like like the fucking Sin City one from Upon a Burdened Body, where it's like, guilty is charged, and like with the other shit in the background, like it creates this like oomph, like, you know. And there's just certain bands that have like just these songs, like most of their shit is like okay. Gonna play this for the kids at bedtime one day. No night terrors guaranteed. It's fucking. It's such, like, part of me wants to just immediately play it again. For me, it's one of those songs that, like, isn't long enough. It's so fucking good. Like, it's just so good. Like,
Sky Mobile is
drastic change in tone. I love it. Like, and I've been like trying to sing along to it and stuff. Like, you know. And I like was watching videos on the vocalist. His name's like Ben Doer, and he's just like I think he's like younger than me. Like, do you know what I mean? And it's hilarious the way everyone's like, you know, how do you do it? What technique do you use? And like, and all these things. And he's just like, I don't know. I mean, I just like a stupid dedication to it, like all the time. It's like when you see people who are like presented to the public throughout the ages or the decades, where they're like, oh my god, you're so amazing at this, like that interview with like Jimi Hendrix or something, where they're like, you're so good on guitar, and he's like, oh, I'm really not that good, like, do you know what I mean? Because he knows what it is to be like really good, you know. And it's the same with like a lot of artists. You see them just being like, I don't know, I mean, I just do it, like, it's my thing, like. And the people are like, you know, enthralled by it, like, you know, like how, like, do you know what I mean? But like the answer quite often is it's just, that's just what he was born to do it. That can be the answer. That's his frequency, that's your vibe, that's what God made you to do, is like this thing, you know. And that's like, isn't that like the greatest thing? To be like, isn't that the true form of like fitting in? You know? You finally fit in. Why? Because you know what you are now. And you actually like fit in. That's how I felt the last couple of years with the whole painting and stuff. I'm like, yeah, this is what I'm supposed to do. I was supposed to just like talk shit and like listen to the music I love to get into my vibe, and like while I'm in my vibe I just like take the piss, make stuff, and like take people on a couple of hours of a journey with me or some shit. And that's kind of always what I used to do, you know. I used to have everybody over at my house and it used to be like my vibe. It's weird. I think there's just like I'm one of those people that like I give off a vibe and people like it, so they stick around. But then yeah, like I've experienced like the same stuff that like Owen talks about, where it's like people use you and like get close to you because they like being close to the source of something. It's weird, you know. And like saying this stuff can make it sound like, sure, like people can like interpret it as like, oh, you think you're like everybody loves you and you're great. Quite the opposite, actually. You know, I've had a lot of like internal conflict and many like conflicts with friends and stuff like that over all sorts of things. But it's because I care. It's because I give a fuck. I think I've thought this a few times before, where it's like I stopped caring because it hurt too much. And it made me suicidal. And then when I started caring again, because I chose to care, instead of it just being like instinctive and innate to my personality, I had to really like assess what I cared about and why. You know? It's a fascinating thing to do, like to ask yourself those questions, be like, why do I care about that? Why does this make me do this? Why does this give me a certain vibe? Because that's who you are. That's how you were built. It's alchemy. You know? Why does salt melt snails? Because it does. It's just a thing. You know? Why does the sun burn gingers? Because it does. Because they're basically transparent. Like, I'll fucking burn in 18 degrees, like, if the fucking sun is out at the right angle. Like, what was it, like, fucking gingers get moonburn instead of sunburn? Get their address, you have the name now, get to work. Canadian ham planet gluttony is a bottomless pit, but the upside is job security. Canadian ham planet gluttony. It's the word, like the ham planet, like planet pork. Tell all the gluttonous Canadians to stop eating so much, and then maybe I will be one time. Maybe then I'll be on time. You're like moving a shitload of dead pig, were you? Oh god. Cressiker music brought us the wear-tempered crevier. Metter brought us the wear-timed fuck. Yeah, totally. There's nothing quite like a well-timed fuck. It's true. My youngest son will be 48 in 2 days. Then my oldest son will be 51 on Christmas Day. My daughter's the oldest. You gave birth on Christmas Day 51 years ago? That's like, Happy Christmas! Like, wild. speaking of timing, like, it was a great stream yesterday. Owen had me thinking internally about some of my own narcissistic tendencies, and yes, I know that is ironic. Yeah, same. We are the type of people to like constantly self-assess, which I think is a good thing, because in a time where like there's so much deception, you need to constantly, like, not constantly, but you need to often, like regularly, assess yourself for any self-deceptions. You know, every now and again you need to like check in with home base in here and be like, have I like developed any like habitual fucking self-deceptions lately, like, you know, or am I currently deceiving myself about something, or am I like lying in some way, or, you know, trying to rationalize something that like I just can't face the truth of, or some shit, like, because like you'd see a lot of truthers where it's like, you know, get out of the matrix, the lies are all out there, and like, you know, they figure out a bunch of fucking truisms or whatever, and they just start thinking that like the world is their enemy and they're in a prison and shit, like, you know, that they need to get out and stuff, and it's like they don't take the time to realize that it's like it's stuff like this why I really do appreciate a lot of the stuff from the Bible, even though I haven't read it in its entirety. What I do know of it and the quotes I've heard and what little I have read, it's like the whole have no fear thing, and then don't cast pearls before swine, and then be in the world but not of it. There's just like certain like quotes and stuff where you're just like, that's like, it's hard. It takes wisdom and an ability to articulate, like, it takes wisdom and intellect and experience to be able to articulate a thought or like a concept into a simple phrase and boil it down into just a phrase. That's why rhetoric is so effective, because like people, like, we're a species of convenience in a natural sense. Obviously that's been taken advantage of and we've like gone astray in many ways, but like convenience isn't a bad thing. Convenience also leans towards efficiency. Do you know what I mean? Because if something is just really like efficient and handy and like what's the word I'm looking for, like intuitive, then like it's not convenient in a bad way. But convenience can't, like, the whole convenience is death is a bit, it's like there's a lot of zeal behind that, you know, like in the same way that the flowery liberalism, communism, fucking, you know, oh, it's okay if my wife wants to have a boyfriend, like, do you know what I mean? The total, like, the bad version of freedom to be insane, versus the tyrannical deus vult, you know, judgmental, like, you heretic, you know, like, you should be dealt with, purged, for you are weak. Like, it's like we do it all the time, individually and as a species, where we polarize and swing in a direction to an extreme. But in a sense, you kind of have to know what's there. You know? Like, we can judge the past all we want about, like, you know, because you see all these people who fall into it, like, you know, oh yeah, like, I love, like, knights and the round table and fucking, what do you call it, like, chivalry and all that, like, you know, things need to go back to the way they used to be. It's like, in some ways they do. Certain traditions, we can't forget the lessons we've learned, and we can't forget, like, the struggles we've been through as a species and culturally, and then familial ties and stuff like that, or even individually. But that doesn't mean that you, like, overcompensate. There's a lot of overcompensating all the time, like, do you know what I mean? Like them fucking mad cunts that are like, Trump got re-elected, I'm getting sterilized. It's like, there's not an ounce of you that thinks that's a slight overreaction. Like, do you know what I mean? Like someone going to the grocery store and there's no milk left, and you just start, like, you just walk out the shop and fucking jump off a bridge, like, do you know what I mean? Like, And, like, I've done it so many times in my life. I'm not saying I don't fucking overreact to shit. I made a really fucking bad habit of overreacting to shit for fucking years. I had, like, really bad, like, anger problems, like, do you know what I mean? Like, my bedroom looked like Swiss cheese. The walls looked like fucking Swiss cheese, like. I had a foot-sized hole, like, I had a foot-sized hole, foot-sized hole, like near the ceiling on the wall, and people used to come in and go, "How did you do that one?" And I was like, "I was standing on the bed when I kicked the wall." It's like, what the fuck? I've done stuff in a fit of rage that if you were just like witnessing me and you had no emotional connection to the context of why I'm angry, like if you just saw me do it, you would piss yourself laughing. You'd be like, what the fuck is this guy? It would look like an episode of Jackass or something, like, do you know what I mean? Like, I've probably told this story before. I got so angry one time in the middle of an argument with the female that I was like, "You just won't listen!" And I, like, curb stomped my bedroom floor 3 times? I think it was 3 times. But, like, I went, like, curb stomped it again, and then, like, it didn't give. And I remember in my mind, I was like, I'm putting my foot through this floor if it kills me. And I put my foot through the hardwood floor in my bedroom. Just boom! And nearly went into the kitchen. I had to, like, pull up real quick. I'd be like, oh shit. I destroyed my bedroom door. Like, in a fit of rage one day, I pulled what was left of my bedroom door apart. So there was 2 halves of the bedroom door. And the part with the handle on it, I threw towards the end, through the window of my bedroom, over the female's head. Like, she was, like, on the floor, because I just used to have, like, a mat, like a, what you call it? What did I call them? What do they fucking call? A futon. It was a futon. I actually missed that thing. It was really comfortable to sleep on. It was huge. But she was, like, you know, on the floor, like, and I, like, flung it over her head, like, half a door, like, over her head like a frisbee, through the window, and was, like, you know, like full-on berserker mode, like. And then it, like, clicks with you, like, you know, it never clicks with you while you're doing it. It clicks with you right after. It's like post-nut clarity. It's like the second you know, and you're like, oh god, oh this is horrible. Like, it's the same. It's like, oh! And then, like, oh fuck. I've no door, I've no window, and it's November. Like, the overwhelming voices in my head being like, dude, you are retard. Like, why did you do that? Like, and I was still like, it's fine, I'll just put a curtain up. Like, I just nailed a curtain in the doorway, and then immediately got, like, I got duct tape and fucking AB foam. You know, the building foam that, like, you spray into, like, crevices and stuff, and it, like, spreads, it, like, triples or quadruples in size in seconds and then hardens so you can fill spaces in. I duct taped the window and tried to fill it with AB foam, and it did not go well. The look on the guys that, like months later, when I finally got the money together, did I get the money together? Or did, like, I think somebody else might have paid to fix the window, because it was months later. And the guys were fixing they were pulling the in quotes repair job that I had done on the window. They were pulling it off, pissing themselves laughing. They were like, you tried to fill it with AB foam? I was like, yes. Like, yes I did. It's fucking like, I've done some stupid fucking shit, like, you know? Like, it's kind of like we've all fucked a fat chick one. Like, do you know what I mean? Like we've all been there. Like, it's like, we all have one. You know, like. I used to call it like the one coffee stain on my. Like, it's a lie, though. I mean, like, there's a lot of coffee stains. Oh god. The fruits of your life, Margie. Enjoy your holidays. Hope you get to see some of them over the next week. I will accept my youngest son that lives in Iowa. Anytime I see the word Iowa, my brain always just goes Slipknot. it's like a fucking neon sign goes off in a cupboard in a corner of my brain somewhere. Like, just see Iowa and like a cat comes out of it. It's like, somebody say Slipknot. I used to love Slipknot. Like, it used to be huge. I don't know if I would have considered myself a maggot. Probably not. I mean, like, yeah, definitely not. I mean, I never even went to see them live. Anyone that knows me would never believe that I'm on this channel every day. Is PEINTEINGU your guilty pleasure, Margie? That's hilarious. When I was raising my children, there were bad words. Using God's name, the F word, hate, shut up, can't. They would get their mouth cleaned out with soap. Of course, they all cuss like sailors now. But of course, like, you know. But of course. Did you actually wash their mouth out with soap? Was that actually a thing, or is that just an urban myth? Is that just some things that parents say? Or is it like, you know, proper beatdowns with a belt? Is that like, did that used to be a thing where it was like, what did you just say? I said, fuck you, Mom. Come here, you. It's just like just getting a bar of soap and just like forcefully brushing their teeth with it, like, and then just like pouring water on them, like waterboarding your kid with soap, like. Say fuck again! Say fuck again, you little bitch! Like, oh man, like parents are wild. I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna be when I'm a dad, like, but fucking hell, like the shit I witnessed, and then the shit you see, like, in other people's lives, like, whether it's on telly or like someone you know and shit like that. Like, parents are fucking crazy, like, they really are. Like, I thought the window was open there for a second. That thing was mad loud. Fuck it, like, my dad did wild shit, like, threw a shuriken above me head when I was like 4 to like prove a point. Like, you will not touch these very dangerous items, and in order to teach you that lesson, I will take a monumental risk at potentially blinding or mutilating, or even like small percentage chance, but potentially killing my child by throwing one at like he did. It was like it was like something out of a movie. Like, it was like, you will not touch these, you know. And I was like, okay. I was like, stand there, you know. And okay, boom. And I'm like, ooh. Like, what a psycho. Like what the fuck, like. And I know I'm not the only one, like, do you know what I mean? I'm not sitting here being like, oh, I've got trauma, like, you know, like, I used to say that all the time. I'd be in, like, you know, these groups in school or something where it's like, you know, kids with issues and shit, like, the ones with piercings and fringes that listen to Korn and Slipknot, typically, like, or at that time it was like him and My Chemical Romance. I didn't like My Chem, thought they were really gay. Like, I was Slipknot, fucking Machine Head, After the Burial, Parkway Drive, Disturbed. Linkin Park, loved Linkin Park. Meteoria or whatever this fucking Meteora, whatever it's called. I love that album. Limp Bizkit. I like Limp Bizkit. I like some of their songs, but like in retrospect, like Limp Bizkit are weird and Fred Durst is a creep. I agree. Like I can imagine Eminem is telling the truth when he's just like Fred Durst is like a little bitch and all this shit. Like, ugh. What else? Kill Switch. What was the early ones? There's some bands that like I've forgotten and I know they're like really good and I loved some of their shit. Chimera had some deadly stuff.
Army of me.
I used to like some of Chimera's shit was deadly, like. And I used to love like listening to metal for like the reason that like sometimes you'd get the lyrics wrong. I used to think Army of Me when he's like Army of Me and then there's like another bit in the song or whatever, like I used to think when I was listening to it, I used to think that he was like on your knees. And I was like, that's deadly. And I read the lyrics and I was like, oh, that's not what it is at all. Like, still cool though. Like that's the attitude I have to shit. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like I could look like a total bellend because I'm like experiencing something authentically, and I'm like, oh my god, this is so cool. He said blah blah blah, and someone who knows better could be standing right there being like, what a gobshite. But when I like become aware of the shit I'm not aware of, I'm like, ha! So I've just hilarious. Like I find my own fuck ups funny because I can see myself. And how funny is that? Because it's like, so like I'm the same. Sometimes I've sat there and been like, am I a narcissist? I mean, sometimes I'm like, you know, and it's like a narcissist wouldn't think like that. And I'm like, okay, so I'm not a narcissist, but like I was gonna say suffer, but I don't really suffer. No, I kind of do. Like, I think I suffer from an incredible amount of like. Yeah, I used to say this years ago, actually, now that I think about it. I remember drawing a picture one time. Internal conflict. I drew a picture one time where it was like this distorted face that was like screaming. It wasn't like... It was still kind of cartoonish. It wasn't like, you know, really highly detailed and creepy looking. It was actually kind of funny looking. But he was like wide-eyed and like screaming with like, you know, fangs. Like roaring with fangs, but he had like a split down the middle, and the left side was red and the right side was blue. And it's like, through over the years, through my art, I've looked back at stuff that I've done, and I'm like, I swear to God, I'm like, my subconscious mind is trying to tell me something about like symbols and polarity and colors and like the meaning of things and like where stuff goes. And like, I've looked at some of my old stuff and been like, I just drew that, but I wasn't aware of that shit when I drew it. So I was just thinking about that stuff. Like, what the fuck? Weird shit. I definitely jive with the whole like time is not linear shit. Like, because like half the time I still feel like I'm fucking 16 years of age. I still feel like a kid, but not in like a immature way, you know what I mean? Because if anything, and that's probably where the conflict comes from, like I can be really cold and dark and apathetic, like borderline psychotic, like, do you know what I mean? But that comes from logic, like a Vulcan, do you know what I mean? It's not the bad version, it's the, but the answer is this. But we have to do that. If we don't, this will happen. You know? And like, as far as I've discovered, that's just what being a man is. Is like, if I do not kill that bear, like, he will probably eat like me and my wife and my children. You know? So I have to kill that bear. And then, like, all the shit in your head is, but I'm terrified, but it might kill me, but, like, I'm on my own, and, like, I don't have my spear, I only have my knife. Like, all this shit is going to go through your head. But that doesn't matter. You have to do it, or else this will happen. It's like, you have to do certain things before winter, or when winter hits, you're fucked. You know, it's fascinating how, like, once you start just, like, honestly assessing things, you come across, like, stuff that feels and sounds profound in the moment, but then immediately becomes, but that's just the truth, though. I find that a lot, where I'm like, oh yeah, I mean, like, that makes a lot of sense, and then immediately I'm like, well, obviously it makes sense, because that's just how things are, you know? And I think that's, like, a result of this inverted lifestyle that we've all been subjected to. It's like made us forget, you know, about, like, a lot of, like, really fundamental, basic, really important, valuable shit, because we've just been, like, so, like, hazed and distracted by all this crap. And you can totally see that a lot of it is, like, done on purpose and malevolently. But you do, I mean, if you just keep going, you do eventually get to the point where, like, oh yeah, free will seems to be a thing, and, like, everybody has a choice, and whether you like to admit it or not. I mean, it takes a level of, like, courage, you know what I mean, to be, like, to get to that point where you're like, oh yeah, like, it really is on me, you know, like, because then you can't turn it, but I was deceived, and you're like, you allowed yourself to be deceived, but I didn't know, I was ignorant. It's like, yeah, well, you could have spent time studying, you could have made prep, you could have prepared, you could have investigated, you could have done other shit, but what did you do? You know, all you did was Netflix and chill, and then you got steamrolled. And you're standing there being like, but why me? You know? Because you didn't do shit. And it's like rough and it's harsh, but it's like, that's... Is it though? Is it not just reality? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, emotions are a fickle bitch, because our emotions, like, are amazing. Because, like, your son is born and you just start crying because you're like, oh my god, I have a son. Like, he's like half me and half you. Are you okay? Oh, you're still bleeding. Oh shit, sorry. But oh my god, I have a son. Like, just like a overwhelming electricity, you know? But then you have the bad side of it, where it's like your emotions, like, depending on how you deal with them, depending on how they flood through you, depending on what it is in the context of the situation, you can make some horrible choices. Like, there's people who just, like, you know, like, driving in a car and their missus is giving them shit and they're just like, fuck this! And off the bridge, into the ravine, both of them dead. You know? And, like, yeah, maybe she was a total flying cunt, but, like, did you really need to fucking murder-suicide the two of you? Like, you know what I mean? It's like, you see it all the time. There's always, like, reaction, justification, rationalization, like, do you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, but... It's like, no buts! You know? Hey, no buts. Don't be gay. No buts. Like, do you know what I mean? If I say, like, if I say something to you, and the first thing out of your mouth is, yeah, but, you're a faggot. Like... And I do that to myself in my head the whole time. I'm like, yeah, I have enough time. I could totally get a workout in. Yeah, but I have this and this to do as well. You know, like, no buts. I learned to start judging people by their actions and not just their words or vulgate. And if you're directly being influenced by someone else's language, then you have work to do. Yeah, like, it's kind of a, like, it's a little bit of a, it's not a catch-22, it's a little bit of a paradox, where, like, you shouldn't fear sounds, because that's all words are, is just sounds with that we have assigned meaning to, Because the whole, like, you know, a rose would smell just as sweet under any other name and all this shit. The reality of how all this works is like, I can... Like, This... You see that? No, you can't see that. Little red A I just did there. That's an A. But it doesn't have to be. That just is the way it is because of the past. But the reality is that, like, this is all conceptual and this is all made up and this is all just, like, an agreed upon rule in our society. That is A. And it's this shape and it sounds like that. But this could be A. That could be A. That could be A. It's all free will. It's all choice. It's all just what we choose. We literally do create our own reality in a sense. But I think that's like how majorly like we don't. It's our battle is not flesh and blood. It's the principalities of evil, and the principalities of evil, as far as I know, it's like, you know, they don't create, they only manipulate. They don't sustain. Like they don't sustain. They like they're parasites. So they don't generate. They don't generate. They penetrate. They fucking, like, you know, they're not givers. They're takers. They're not growers. They're destroyers. They're not positive. They're negative. Now, like, when you get to the meta level, it's like, yes, we call it evil. Yes, we call it bad. But the connotation is that it's like the enemy sometimes. It's like, in a sense, that's still true. It's like, that is where the energy is produced, is in the conflict. The polarizations. The meeting of minds. And it's like, the reason why people are so fucked up these days is because there used to be a sense of fairness, and there used to be, like, honor used to be a thing. And most behavior in our society these days is totally void of any sense of honor. The wars we fight, the arguments we have, the way we trade and, like, consume with each other in, like, commerce and shit, like all of these, like, you know, interest rates and insurance, like, it's all scammy, rigged. It's all it's not meant to generate wealth and to create value and to sustain things over a long period of time. And it's the total opposite. It's a constant feeding frenzy of a parasitical energy that, like, shows up to a place and goes, mine, and just takes. But it's gotten more sophisticated and intelligent over the years, so it's realized that it can benefit from farming what it needs, instead of like there came a point where one of the raiders and bandits looked at a farmer and was like, I could do a version of that meets my requirements. I could set up a society where I get all of this stuff that I need, like material possessions, like currency, perceived status, access to women, access to, like, resources, materials, or, like, perceived power and all this shit. I could get all that through a form of farming. And instead of farming the animals for resources that I will then use for various things, I'm gonna farm the people around me for resources and various things. And that's the reality we face, is that, like, no longer do we face the threat of a predator when we leave our cave or leave our hut or leave our, you know, treehouse or some shit like that. Like, we now face a predator everywhere. It's ubiquitous. I like that word. It's all encompassing. It's, like, just ever present. And I think it's kind of cool that we live in a time where this is a very unique, as far as, like, you know, we look back in history and we see allegedly how things have gone vaguely for the most part up until now. The challenges we face, like I've spoken about before, are way less physical and way more mental and emotional and spiritual. And like, you could probably argue that that is more important. Because like, think about it. How many people have died brutally, terrified, alone, you know, like calling out for their mum, you know, like, I don't want it, please don't do it, like, you know, like all of it, like terror, horror, stuff none of us want to fucking experience, like, do you know what I mean? Unless it's like for some kind of sacrificial purpose or some shit. Like, it doesn't have the impact that we've been convinced it had. Like, do you know what I mean? Because it's for the same reason that you can't just like kill all the Jews and the bad stuff will stop happening. You can't just have a war and then expect anything to improve. You can't just get two groups of people who go and like traumatize each other in various ways, and then in such ways that even the people who do not actually engage in that act get fucking traumatized. Their families, their loved ones, the fucking businesses, like, you know, like all this shit, like, you know, you don't even need to be in the war to be potentially traumatized the fuck by the results of the war, you know? It's not like they tell you they would like us to think that it's like, oh yeah, after World War I and 2 we learned a lot, like, do you know what I mean? And like, we've all made like treaties and agreements and shit and sections and stuff off, and it's all like, you know, we're civilized, we're trying to be progressive and all this crap, like, do you know what I mean? It's such bullshit. Like, they're literally selling you a concept of a potential future that makes no sense, will not work. But like, it's like the whole Bitcoin thing and money and stuff. It will work as long as they have a lot of people on the take. It's like a pyramid scheme. Does it work? Yes. Unfortunately. Like, it's like lying. It's like, does it work? Do they now think that you did that thing? Yes. It works. But there you go, being gay again. It's like, you really, how funny is it when you realize how difficult it is to speak in absolutes? It's almost impossible. Like, if you're honest, if you're actually genuinely honest, it's like almost impossible to speak in absolutes. Because anything you say, you could just be like, yeah, but like, oh shit. I'm babbling because I'm just nervous about going to court here in the 3. You'll be fine. If you didn't do anything wrong, you'll be fine. You know, if you didn't do anything wrong and you're honest about it, you'll be fine. If you did some shit and you're lying about it, karma gonna get you. Yes, it's my guilty pleasure. That's hilarious. You did wash their mouths out with soap, and you would get the worst tasting soap that you could. That's fucking hilarious. I shall cleanse you, child, of your filthy mind. I got the bar of soap and the strap and the wooden spoon, all deserved. That's hilarious. My nan threatened me with a wooden spoon sometimes, like a few times when I was real young. But like, I got smacked a few times, clipped on the ear and shit. Very normal stuff. But then there was a few times, and it was always me dad, there was a few times where it was like, here, like, you know, fucking, that's not on, like, you know. And I remember hearing me ma being like, Derek, stop, he's only a kid, and all, like, and it's like, you go through years of thinking that you're in the, like, you know, well, he must have done it because, like, he's my dad and he's a good man and blah 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 blah. Like, it's just mad. Like, there are loads of ways where you could argue that my father was a good man in many ways, like, do you know what I mean? But then there's also loads of ways you could argue that he's a total fucking psycho who should not have who should not have had kids, you know. But it is what it is. Like, that's one of those things where it's like all this stuff. Like, don't get me wrong, I like the positivity of like, have kids, you know, fucking, you know, we need more children, especially white ones and all this shit. Like, I agree with it for the most part, you know, but you also have like, there's loads of people who shouldn't have kids, you know, like just objectively, you could look at them and be like, you people should not breed. Like, you people breeding is not a good thing, because like you people suck. So like, even if your kids are like awesome souls and they have a really hard life, but they turn out okay, like the percentage chance is so low. Like I could be wrong, but I'm just speaking my mind. Like, you know, there's plenty of people I've looked at and just been like, like, why did you have kids? Like, I feel so fucking sorry for your kids. Spare the rod, spoil the child. I'm proud of all 3 of my children. 3 is a nice number for kids. What do you got? 1 daughter, 2 sons, is it? I might see Disturbed next March in Boston. I hope it's good. I'd say, like, I like Disturbed. They're cool. But, like, I think they're a bit woke now, are they? I don't know. Who fucking isn't these days? A rare, like a select few are just, like, straight up and, like, yeah, sticking your dick in an ass is, like, nothing to be proud of, like, you know? It's fucking stupid. I'm never gonna grow up. I don't think I will either. I think there's always gonna be a part of me that's like, but I think that, like, I think that's the way you're supposed to be. It's like, be like a child, you know. It's not. Obviously, you have to become aware, learn, have responsibilities. You know, like, learn how to behave as an adult. Do you know what I mean? But the whole idea of, like, there is this sense in society, it's like, oh, you're not a kid anymore, you know? And that's something you do to soldiers. That's something you do to, like, you know, the negative version of a slave. Like forced slavery, like, do you know what I mean? That's something you do to an animal. You break them, you know? You're not, because when they say that, like, you're not a kid anymore, generally what they're alluding to is, like, you can't have that, like, high energy anymore. You need to tone it down. And there's a truth to that. You do need to learn discipline. You do need to learn restraint. You do need to learn moderation, impulse control, all these things. But that doesn't mean you lose, like, that spark. That, like, fuck it, let's just go. Let's just do things. Let's throw fireballs at each other in the front garden. But we can't throw fireballs. Why not? Like, do you know what I mean? It's like, it's the ability to ride that line between fantasy and reality and enjoy it. Because it's good. Because we were given an imagination for a reason. You know? To ground yourself too much in the material is to do God a disservice, in my opinion. You know? Like they say, fear God. I don't fear God. I trust God. I don't think God wants me to fear him. You know? God wants me to love and trust him because he has a plan and he made things for a reason, and he's like God to me is like, don't worry, nigga, I got this. You know? And that makes total sense to me. I'm like eating my mustache again, and I also have dry lips. It's just fascinating to see all this, like, pan out in such a simultaneously, like, discordant and unnatural way, but at the same time natural. It's weird. Like, especially over the last few years, like, you can see it. I mean, like, powers shifting, opinions are changing, the zeitgeist is, you know, shifting. It's all, like, it's all moving around. The Israeli embassy has pulled out of Ireland. I thought that was interesting. One of our politicians is being called an anti-Semite. And the first thing I thought was like, good. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't have anything against the Jews, but there's definitely, you know, the Jews that, like, do a load of corrupt shit, you know? It's just known. It's just a thing that's known. And they admit to it, like, like, that being their culture. Manipulation, deception, trickery, you know. Well, you believed me, you know, like. It's a very powerful weapon. You know, it's completely void of any sense of honor and integrity. But it's a valid modus operandi. Do you know what I mean? It's a totally valid, effective behavior to engage in. But like, that's most people are like, but it's wrong though. And that's where the whole Talmudic are. Yeah, but what do you mean by wrong? I mean, like, that's like so subjective. Like, you know what I mean? Like, ugh, Jesus. Nobody wants butts. They stink. Should I dress like June Cleaver or like a teeny bopper when I go to court? Like, no, yeah, definitely don't dress like teeny bopper. I would never use a wooden spoon. That would hurt too much. That's hilarious. You fucking, like, literally wash their mouth out with soap. Well, I suppose it's not painful, but it's just, like, rank and potentially, like... Did they ever get sick? Do you ever wash your kid's mouth out with soap and they just start vomiting violently all over the place? Yeah, that's what you get. And you're not getting dinner. Like... Unless it's a female judge. That's hilarious. You know what can be a pain? Ads. Ads can be a pain. Just like AIDS. No, if a female judge comes from the next town, I wouldn't have to worry because she's my friend. That's hilarious. You know, you walk into the court, you're like, all rise. Bitch walks in like, oh, hey, Margie. Hey. like the people suing you are like, oh, fuck. Like, David has always been a shit lib, but he's a talented artist. Oh, I was like, who's David? Disturbed. He's always been a shit lib, but he's a talent. Yeah. Yeah. It's like I like a lot of Korn's songs, but like, I don't know. It's like Eminem. Like, I still like a lot of Eminem's stuff from back in the day and all, but anytime I look at Eminem now, I'm just like, ugh. And it's funny how that shit works, because like, I never listened to 50 Cent, but because of the shit I seen when the P. Diddy stuff came out, and all them clips of 50 Cent being like, Diddy a fruit pop! This nigga wanna take me shopping! And the way he's dealing with his son, and shit like that, like, and I've just seen some cool shit about him, like, you know. And it made me want to go listen to his music. But having said that, I haven't, you know. But the fact that I was like, maybe I should start listening to his songs. Maybe I like some of his stuff, you know. But I've never been that big into rap. Like, I like some of it, but I've just never been that big into it. Like, when everybody was like originally listening to Eminem, I was listening to like Nickelback. Oh god. Only old-fashioned judges here, in a good way or a bad way. Like an old-fashioned judge in the sense that like he could potentially turn around and be like, she's senile. Like, like send you to a fucking hospice because you forgot to pay a bill. You clearly have dementia. You need help. Like, sounds like something the Chinese party would do, like Chinese Communist Party. Like, it's like similar to the Romulans at Star Trek. Like, we have judged you to be guilty, so we are now going to have a court hearing that will explain how we came to the conclusion that you're guilty. So you're not gonna, like, prove that I'm guilty. You're just gonna assume my guilt and then do a load of confirmation bias stuff. Yes. Like, because you're guilty. And we know it. Like, it's fucking... If you don't, like, there's certain aspects of society and, like, ways of life that I think a lot of people aren't aware of because they didn't watch certain movies or TV shows growing up. Do you know what I mean? Like, I haven't studied any of this shit. I haven't read any books. I've played video games, watched movies and TV shows, and watch YouTube videos and listen to podcasts. And the shit I have learned and become aware of by just, like, a child immersing myself in various places where information seems to be floating around and just allowing it to, like, seep in, but, like, not completely, like, do you know what I mean? Like, I've said that before, like, I never get, like, super into something, you know? I've never been, like, a fan. Well, no, I'm definitely a fan of shit. I've never been, like, a hardcore fan of anything. I don't think anything's ever, like, interested me to that degree, you know? I don't think it's because I'm sheltered or anything. I mean, I've done stuff, I've gone places, like, do you know what I mean? Even if it was, like, a brief thing or, like, years ago. But it's like... I think I'm one of those people, or, like, I was one of those kids that is, like, really, like, either... I don't know if I'm consciously, but definitely, like, probably subconsciously still connected to the other side. So a lot of this just seems, like, pointless to me. And boring. To a degree. Where, like, there's a part of me that's, like... I just want to die already to, like, see what's over there. Because, like, I'm sick of this place. You know? Now, obviously that sounds kind of dark, but, like... Like, it did take me a while to start appreciating this place again. And I do. I mean, like, when I walk up the hill near the house and I look out and I can see just, like, nothing but fields and a beautiful blue sky and all that shit, like, I'm like, this place is gorgeous, like, you know. It's funny how, like, I get way more of a sense of, like, beauty and reverence and a sense of, like, belonging and, like, purpose and wonderment and all these really cool things from just being in nature and witnessing nature. Versus being in society and doing stuff that humans do. You know? A lot of it I'm like, why? I don't know. You're seeing what happens in society now when discipline is removed. Kids are being raised that there are no consequences to their actions. That's it. That's how you get niggers. It is indeed. Ah, Dick Fordu, welcome out. Okay. Where's my black? Where's my brack? Oh, fuck that one up.
So, what's your deal?
My deal? I'm just a regular guy with a regular job, but I've got this condition.
Yeah, part of me wants to watch that.
Pain.
That seems like entertaining. Can't feel pain. Some of the scenes in the trailer made me laugh. Okay, that's a bit better. First one was shite. Whoever did the embroidery on the first penguin sash was like fucking strung out on coke or something like this. Needle went all over the place. I'm gonna switch bitches. I have a more accurate one sitting there. Where'd you go? There you are. Oh, glorious! Your Brack should be in the field picking potatoes and shamrocks. Potatoes and shamrocks. Oh, good. Oh, it's even less accurate. I guess I'm just gonna have to get good. I'm always doing this, well, not always, but I do it quite often in the PEINTEINGUs where, like, I don't realize how hard of a fucking task I'm doing for myself sometimes, where it's like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna do Nazi sashes on all of them, like, and I'm there, like, doing the tiniest details on a tiny penguin, and I'm like, fuck me, like, this is small. kind of want to do a little skull on the ones with helmets. I suppose there would be skulls or eagles on the officers' hats as well, though, wouldn't it? I'm like attempting to put like tiny details on tiny penguins. Right, we switch the vibe up. We go for the classic. Huh? It's Wednesday. Let's get some wobs. Get them wobs into you. Always good to see you, Dick. You gotta pay that guy away. We'll be catching you later on HWB. Watch tonight, Margie, if you want to get to know our Dick Fordew better. Yeah, hanging with bears is awesome, the way people can just get on with each other and talk and chill. I need to make more of an effort to stick that on sometimes when I need something to listen to. Because I never think of it. I'm always listening to like Owen or Chris Gardner or like watching YouTube videos on fucking demonology and symbolism or some shit like that. Like I don't make the effort to take the time to just listen to two bears talk, like, and people, you know, have chimed in to listen to me for like hours. So sometimes I'm kind of like, am I being a dick by like not making the extra effort? Like, but it's not like I'm doing it intentionally. Like, you know, I just like automatically fill my day with other shit, like, and then forget, you know. But yeah, I had that thought the other day when I seen Scouts and Stuntman Bear were doing one. And I was like, oh, I should like remember. Need to like I have an objective notepad and stuff like that for my art and shit like that. But I think I need to just like get like a fucking memory diary or some shit, like, or just put things on the wall to remember. It's like, don't forget to do this or whatever. Like, I only remember certain things. My focus can be very like, I get tunnel vision a lot, like, you know. And then I end up stressing myself out because I'm only thinking about the one thing, you know. Oh god. Getting a nice, clean, satisfying brush stroke is like definitely comparable to like hitting the bullseye in something, or, you know, getting a headshot in a shooter or some shit like that. It's just like ding, ooh, like. I fucking knew it, I could feel it coming. You fucking bitch, you interrupted the whoops. How dare you? It's weird how we'll go ages sometimes with no ads on something we generally get ads on. I've noticed that before, where like, I think it happened the other day, where it's like I'm playing something that like I've gotten ads on before, and like it goes for like an hour with like no ads. I'm just like, is YouTube just being nice to me today? Like, what's going on? Like, The more episodes I watch, I realize how salt of the earth most bears are. Great people just trying to crush every day. Yeah, like, and that's no lie. Like, the amount of times I've, like, spoken to a bear or watched Hanging with Bears, and even briefly, and I'm like, man, like, I really need to up my game, you know. It's happened to me so many times. I think I'm, like, you know, doing well, which, like, contextually I am, you know. Like, they say, like, just try to be better than the you were yesterday, like, incrementally, you know. Just baby steps, slow improvements, stuff like that, and all, like. And then I'll see other people, and I'm just like, fucking hell, where do you get the energy? Like, but I do kind of suffer from that a bit, like, where I've like a fatigue, a tiredness that I suffer from, and I don't think it's just physical, you know, like I don't work out enough or some shit like that. Like, I think there is an element of like my nervous system, like I have a bit of trauma or some shit, like, where I just haven't, like sometimes I feel like I could sleep for a whole day, you know. It's like, why am I so tired, like, you know? But then again, it could be anything. It could be like just diet. Maybe I am, like, I'm just not exercising enough. That could definitely be the case, like, at the moment. But there's been times where I'm like, no, like, I'm fucking working out, like, pretty hard, like 3 times a week. That's enough. Or maybe I was wrong, maybe it wasn't. Maybe I need to go harder. The unbelievable difference. Well, not unbelievable. It's like, as much as I was like articulating and critiquing the paints that Emmanuel got for me, which, like, I obviously appreciate and I'm really, you know, grateful for. But as the fact that I do this is my thing, I'm like just being honest and critiquing the mediums that I'm using. Paint. The difference is even more noticeable now that I'm back using the gouache. Like how it flows, how much I get out of it versus how much I need to use when I add water or whatever like that. Like, it's actually fascinating, like, just the different consistencies and properties of the stuff. Because you wouldn't necessarily think it just by looking at the stuff, like, you know. But I did find this shit called there's a brand called Liquitex, and they're obviously not the only ones that do it, but I just looked it up quickly on Amazon. That's what I got. But they do this stuff called there's like different mediums that you can mix with paint to get different effects, and they have a fluid matte medium that turns the paint matte and extends it in, like, you know, like kind of watering it down but not watering it down. So I'm gonna try to get my hands on some of that stuff and test it with the paints that I have there and the paints that Emmanuel got me, and see if I get a similar effect. And if I do, that'd be fucking awesome, because then I'd have to just get my hands on a lot of that fluid acrylic medium, is what the stuff is called. And I could just get like a couple of tubs of that, and then I could use the other acrylics I have there for PEINTEINGU as well, which is great because I have a lot of it there. Like, because there's so many reasons why I don't use it. Because, like, even when I, like, not only does it buckle, and not only is it like if you were here and you could touch this, it's sticky. it's sticky and it's shiny. See the shine? See the glare? Look at that. Look at the glare on that, right? And the light is hitting it. And I've a light behind the laptop. You don't get the glare on this. Like you'll get glare while it's wet. You get glare while it's wet. So while I'm painting, you'll get like glare and stuff like that. But there's no glare once it's dry. It's just a flat, saturated image. You know, like a cartoon. So like, that's why I'm like, that's the stuff I need to use. Is fluid, matte stuff. Because it suits my style. Or rather, my style is suited to that medium. At least for the moment. Like I said, I mean, I could well believe it one day that I end up using oils or something like. Because they'd probably look really good if I got like a matte finish on them and then put a glaze on them or something. You know, that like I think there's actually stuff called HD fluid or a HD varnish that they put on oil paintings, where it's like the second you see them put this stuff on, it's like it's crazy the difference it makes. It's fucking crazy the difference it makes. It adds a sense of depth and like cleanness it's just odd. Feeling like one needs rest should be attended as being hungry, like literally or like in a motivation sense. I just need it. I have often thought that I just need to eat more because I smoke a lot, so that fucks with your appetite. And like, I didn't used to be so lean, and I've been smoking for like years. So I've thought loads of times, I'm like, do I just need to like, one, cut down on smoking and try to stop, and two, force myself to eat more regularly? Because like, I noticed that in the last few years, where I'm like, sometimes I only eat like dinner and that's it. I don't have a breakfast, I don't have a lunch, and like, I'll drink coffee all day and no water. It's like, no wonder you're finding it hard to put weight on. Like, you know, what the fuck? Like, you know, like, you're basically constantly on a diet. Like, you know, and then I'll do like a fairly intense workout, like 3 rounds of fucking like dips, squats, pull-ups, fucking lunges, like weight and all this fucking shit. And I'll be like, yeah! And then the following day, I'll be like, oh god. Like, and it probably is just because I'm not giving my body the fuel it needs, like, you know. But that's why over the last couple of years, I've really tried to like, in the midst of trying to create my own business and trying to like get a routine in and be efficient and productive and consistent and all these fucking things, I've also tried to like be healthier and trying to figure out how I can be healthier without like, you know, buying expensive shit or like or drastically changing my routine to the point where it interferes with the female's routine or something. Like, it's been quite frustrating. It takes more energy to go fully into a rest state than one thinks. Dude, you're so right. Because sometimes, like, you know, like, it's funny you say that, because like, I'll be really tired, but then I'll sit there and watch Netflix and smoke and like drink tea for like 3 hours in the evening, and like, I'll look at the clock and I'll be like, oh my god, it's like 1 a.m. Like, what the fuck? Like, because before I went to chill out, I was like, oh, I'm sleepy, I'm gonna put Star Trek on and fall asleep. And then 3 hours later, I'm like this, you know. And obviously you could be like, yeah, it's the TV, it's the waves, it's all this stuff, but it's like, I'm not actually, my behavior isn't conducive to actual rest, you know. Like, what I should be doing, like when I am going to rest, it should be a case of like, right, I'm going to bed now, and it's in like a dark room with nothing. Do you know what I mean? Instead, I'm going to sleep now. I stick Star Trek on and like have it on in the background like a nightlight. Do you know what I mean? And I know I'm not the only one that, like, a lot of gamers are like that. A lot of gamers, like, get used to this, just something always being on in the background. And then when you turn it off, you're just lying there looking at the ceiling being like, why can't I go to sleep? Because every time you close your eyes, the fucking, like, I don't even need a dream sometimes. I'll just close my eyes for 5 minutes and it's just like fucking storylines and images and creation and shit. And then I'm not tired, you know? My brain starts like revving back up. And it's like 4 o'clock in the fucking morning. I'm lying there looking at the ceiling being like, I feel like painting right now. Oh my god, this is so frustrating. Like, oh, that's one of the things about not having like a dad, or like I do have a father, but he's not like in my life. I don't have a mentor. I don't have someone I don't have someone who's ahead of me and knows me on a personal level to be like, you're doing this, stop doing that, do this. Because like I'd be like, oh, okay, you know, and like take it on board and like change and shit, like, cause of the trust, you know. And it's not that I don't like trust you guys or whatever, like, you know what I mean? But obviously, like, you don't want to just believe people on the fucking internet or in a chat room or some shit. Like, people turn around and go like, my cousin, you'd like rhyme off a load of things that you feel or some shit. And they're like, my cousin felt like that and turned out he had Lyme's disease. You should go see a doctor. Like, oh, it's like fucking Googling symptoms. Never ask the public or the internet if it knows what's wrong with you. It's a fucking disaster. Because like sometimes asking a loved one that you've known since your birth, it's like, you know, do I do this? Like, you know, do you think that's a bad thing? Sometimes that can be a bad thing to do, you know? Because then there's the whole bias thing, like, you know. It's hard to get an authentic, honest, objective, unbiased opinion that's actually like useful, you know. And like you get that when you're like an apprentice to someone, you know, because like you're in the same flow, so they'll look back at you and be like, stop doing that, do this, and you're like, oh, and then you get closer to where they are and you're like, ah, you know, they're not like, they know what they're talking about. They're not taking the piss. They're not just trying to like correct my behavior. They're trying to better me, you know. Like it's fascinating to try and delve into like how you can like how you can do self-motivation and shit like that, like, which is a thing I think I struggle with because I'm so harsh on myself mentally. Like the voices in my head, I've had to train myself to feed the good one more instead of the bad one. Most of the time I was just letting the bad wolf just like fucking beat the shit out of me. And then there's like a lot of guilt and shame instead of listening to the good wolf that's like, it's okay, just do better, you know. I've had to feed that one and be like, because like you're way more effective when you're positive. You know what I mean? That's why your mental health is so important. Like your spiritual and mental your attitude, your frequency, your alignment, your internal compass is like really fucking important. Energetically, we need the rhythm of both work and rest. Balance. Yeah, totally. I've suffered from burnout a few times. Just in the past few years. Because I'm just like, go, 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 go. Oh, I'm really tired. You know, like, and even when, like, I'll be like, oh, I'm really tired. And like I said, I won't rest. I'll chill out. I'm not resting though, you know. I'll go long periods of time without experiencing vivid dreams, and that's one of the things that, like, you know, you're supposed to get your REM sleep. rapid eye movement sleep, where you're actually in the dream and you're like, oh my god, what the fuck's going on? Because you're dreaming. That is where your body falls into that state where it's like, and like actually rests. Now sometimes you can run into a kind of a paradoxical problem where like you're having intense dreams, and even though your body is resting, you wake up from the dream and you're like, what the, oh my god. So like you still have a mental fatigue because of what you just experienced as far as you're concerned. But yeah, like REM sleep is so important, and I know for a fact I don't get enough of that, because sometimes, like I said, I'll just stick Star Trek on and then I'll wake up and I'll be like, what happened? Did I sleep? What fucking, like, last thing I remember was like 2 seconds ago, and it was like dark and like Captain Kirk was talking to Spock. Now it's light out. And like like it doesn't feel like I've slept, like, do you know what I mean? It's just like blackness and then awake again. You know, like it's probably what it feels like to have a child. It's like, he's finally asleep, let's get some rest. It's like, okay. And then like the second you close your eyes, you're like, oh shit, like what the fuck? Like, you can feel like delirium, like, you know. I think it's kind of funny that my favorite white paint to use, that I find very versatile and effective, is French. I think that's really funny. What's your best white? The French one. It's like, really? I would have thought it'd been the German one. No, they do great blacks. You won't get a better black than a German black. You get some purists like, there are no black Germans. It's like, I'm talking about paint, nigga. Like, it can still take a few layers to get that like nice bold white, but like it's just so it's really matte and chalky and very fluid, very viscous and fluid, and works well with water and dries like shit quick and is really nice to paint over. But the yellow isn't great at all. I got their yellow and it wasn't great. It's like every brand has like a color that's just like a bit subpar, and they also have a color that's like awesome, which makes sense because it's all just recipes, you know. It's all just recipes. It's fascinating to me how it's like through just using all the different materials, it's kind of like, I really like that black, and I really like that white, and I really like that yellow. You know, like, I have all these, like, different things, like... It's one of the first things I started doing regularly when I was like doodling in school. Was I used to do a face with the eyebrow like this, and then I used to do velociraptors and dinosaurs and stuff, like with an open mouth with loads of teeth coming out of them and all, like, and then dragons and shit like that. Like, it's one of my favorite things to do all the time. I'm going to get really back into the symmetrical shit. I could feel it. Like, I haven't touched that symmetrical in ages because I've been drawing chickens and doing painting. I get so distracted by things.
Oh God, he's coming back! Get out of here!
In the new year, what my plan moving forward is to really just beat myself into a routine of like symmetrical's character design stream, symmetrical's character design stream, symmetrical's like every day, you know, because there's days where I hit a stride and I get character design work done, I get a bit of work done on symmetrical, I do a 2.5 hour stream, I make the dinner, like, do you know what I mean? I have the energy for the whole day to like hit all of it. And then there's just loads of other days where it's just all over the place, you know? I don't get any work done on the symmetrical for weeks because like I'm sketching more at bedtime and like working on like a new I think it's important as an artist like to like pick stuff that you do for a while, and I actually don't do enough of it. But there's been a few times where I'm like, I'll do the same thing that I was just talking about, where I pick like one particular thing and I draw it a lot, because that's how you get good at shit, you know? It's the same with martial arts. It's like, oh, your roundhouse kick could use some work. Well, you're gonna do nothing but roundhouse kicks for like at least a week, you know, and you will see an improvement, like, typically. Paint. Modern body sciences focus on just stress and more stress. The fastest strike starts with a rest. Yeah, you need to relax before you explode. Yeah, it's much easier to be shit quick if you're relaxed, if you're loose, if you're loosey goosey. It's like when Goofy is teaching his son how to fish. You gotta be loosey goosey. Just that long fucking. Man, I haven't seen the Goofy movie in years. It's really good. From what I remember. For all I know, I could watch the Goofy movie again and be like, oh my god, the pedophilia! But from what I remember, the Goofy movie was good. Yuck! Like, oh man, I used to fucking like that, and what was it? Donald Duck, or was it Daffy? I think it was Daffy Duck that I used to try and imitate and all. Like, I love the Looney Tunes and all that shit. Like, you get a real pale pink going here for the tongue. There really is a fucking, like, I can understand why, like, didn't he call his thing the joy of painting? He's not wrong. There's an incredible catharsis and satisfaction to be found in painting. But you just need to remove your, like, you need to, not that you don't care about it, but it's like, remove your ego from it. Like, you know, don't be all like, oh, it's shit looking. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like, it doesn't matter. Just, like, there's some things I've done that you could easily, if you looked at that thing, you'd be like, this nigga can't draw. But then there's some things I've done where I'm like, fuck me, I'm getting good at this. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like, it's funny when, like, I've said this before. Was it this stream when I said this? But it's like, how funny is it when you just, like, when you speak your mind and you speak out loud and you're just honest and shit like that, you'll hit these points where you're like, duh. Like, maybe I was like that. Like, maybe I'm actually not lying when I well, not that I'm lying. Maybe it's not just a bit when I say, come, Myro, let's remind these mortals of beauty and honor. You know, it's like, is that actually what I'm trying to do subconsciously? Is like, remind people that, like, honor exists and it's a thing. Like, you know, like, just like Owen is like, but it's funny though. Like, that's the truth. It's like, I'm also like, you know, but it's funny though. You know, like, I'm not making it. I'm not writing a joke. I'm not like saying something profound. Like, but I'm just like showing you something, and it's like undeniably like funny or cute or like, you know, sometimes cool looking. Most of the times it's just like hilarious. I couldn't stop laughing when I realized that, like, from the perspective of the audience, the ferret is pointing at me and the flag says twat. And I was like, that is the best unintentional self-own I've ever done. Like when I was watching it and I just see this like drugged out looking ferret with a flag that says twat and it's pointing at me. Like, and like, you'd like imagine like a narcissist would be like, oh shit, I need to change that, or like, oh fuck it, man, I fucking started crying. Like, I posted it in Telegram. Like, I was like, look what I did. Like, I totally taking the piss out of myself unintentionally. That's brilliant. Like, that's like, just roll with it. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's hilarious. I love that. Like, I was just sitting in bed, like, uploading the streams on the Rumble, so I was going back through them, like, and then, like, I was replying to Emmanuel. I just caught a glimpse of this, of like one of the other episodes, like, and I'm just like, oh my god, it looks like the ferret is pointing at me and that flag says twat. Like, it's fucking perfect. Like, oh god. I started listening to rain sounds at night and sleep deeper and less interrupted now. Very healing. Oh, I fucking love the sound of rain. Love the sound of rain. Especially when it's a little bit heavy. You know, if it's like a raging storm outside, like, especially if you're in a tent, it can keep you awake and you won't get a great night's sleep at all. But if it's just that gentle kind of pitter patter and then every so often like a, you know, like a or something, like, it's pure chill. Pure chill. But do you know what one of my favorite vibes to rest in? Over the years, like, not that I got to do it all the time, but like, I specifically remember the feeling. It was one of the reasons I loved Christmas in my grandparents' house, right? Because there would always come a point in the evening where we were all watching a movie, and I would usually be on like a two, like there'd be like my nan and my granddad, and they'd be on a sofa together, and then it'd be like way back when it'd be me ma, me da, but like then for years it was like me da and me sister, and then I'd be on like a two-seater on the other side of the room on my own with a dog or something, like, you know. I used to like put my feet up and lie back on the sofa, and the dog would fucking get up and curl up on my chest. It was adorable. Not to mention comfortable, because like it's like, for those of you who own like pets that like sleep on you, like there's something about that vibe that is just so chill, like, do you know what I mean? Like, there's a reason animals cuddle, like, do you know, it's like really conducive to like resetting your nervous system and calming down and getting a good sleep and shit, like. But we used to have a roaring fire going, and there'd be like a 90s action flick on, or like Columbo or something super chill, or like really nostalgic, and like Home Alone, like something, or like Die Hard, and like me nana'd be drinking her wine, granddad'd be drinking his fucking pale ale or whatever. And then me dad just be like, you know, chilling out maybe on his phone a bit for work or something like that, and Megan would just be like on her phone or something, like, but we're all like kind of chilling out in our own vibe at the same time as like communally just like resting by the fire after a great Christmas dinner, you know, the whole 9 yards, gravy, sprouts, fucking mashed potatoes, potatoes, turkey, chicken, ham, the whole lot, like, you know what I mean? And just like mashed potato and roast potatoes. I always thought that was funny. It's like there's two different kinds of potato on my fucking plate right now, and I couldn't be happier. Like, it's fucking so funny to me sometimes. Like, just like that just makes me laugh. It's like you have mashed potato and roast potato beside each other, covered in gravy, and you're like, they're both the same thing. It's just one is like got a crunchy outside to it, and the other one doesn't. Always used to make me laugh. But that like I'll always remember that as like one of the most chill vibes ever. Is just family, Christmas, roaring fire, watching movies after dinner, and like your energy level would just be so calm and content, and especially like, you know, the primal light and heat off of an actual fire. Glorious. Fucking glorious. Of course there are black Germans. Haven't you played Call of Duty Vanguard? On Battlefield 1, World War 1, and you had black Nazis running around. Hilarious. Fucking like, we live in such hilarious times. We really do, like there's a few things that have happened recently that are like really like proper signs of the times, like that Hawk to a bitch. Like, do you know, like that's gotta be the, like, that has to be a record for like, goes viral, gets a podcast, scams a load of people, you know, like she did a speed run of grifting, like. It's like, what the fuck, like. I think after I finally finished the symmetrical I've been working on for fucking months at this stage, that like alien bug armored helmet looking thing, I think I'm gonna do a series of symmetricals that are like abstract versions of like I want to do an elephant, a wolf, tiger, dragon, like And it was actually the female's idea, because I did something ages ago for Papa J Bear, because he was like trying to work in the European bear merch, and I basically just did like, it's basically what I did was I did a symmetrical, the way I do symmetricals, where I just kind of do abstract shapes and then like you know, trace it and flip it like a fucking like an analog version of a Rorschach, you know. But I intentionally, like, you know, made it look like a bear, you know. And it came out really well. It came out really well. And he was very satisfied with it. And but it was one of the few things that the female actually turned around. She was like, "I really like that. That's really good." And I was like, okay. So one of the things I want to do is like that. I want to pick, like, you know, like kind of like the moose head thing I'm doing at the moment. Like, I think that might actually be one of the first ones. I like that concept of just doing like symmetrical front profile, real mean looking, like wolf, dragon, bull, bear, real like just intense, cool, angular, aggressive looking animals that like they're not, you know, they're not like realistic, they're like abstract with like cool colors and shit. Like, I've always wanted to just do a fucking badass looking dragon as well, but like it's one of those things where it's kind of easy to do, but at the same time it can be very time consuming depending on what way you want to do it, because like, you know, if you want to do a highly detailed version, you're gonna be sitting there doing the fucking scales on that bitch depending on how big you make it for fucking hours. Like, and that's one of the things that like I have like a speed painter kind of style, like not like really quick or whatever, but like I have a style that's conducive to sign writing and pinstriping, and that's one of the reasons why I like fully saturated one shot. Like, you know, I want to be able to do a line of color and it's just done, you know. But that also helps in like cartoons and anime and shit, because if I can do it quickly, then I can do lots of them, you know. Which is one of the reasons I love doing this stream the last few years. Like, I've become addicted to it in a sense, where I'm like, you know, okay, what the fuck am I doing now? I have no idea. And then it comes out with a hat and the map, and I'm just like, all right, let's do this shit. And then some of them I like hit a home run on, and I'm like, oh, that came out deadly, you know. That is, like, some of them are like, oh fuck, this is trash. That's the nature of chaos. Like, it's like every fleeting moment, it's like, oh, that was cool. Oh god. Like, oh, what was that? I also have a slight obsession with, like, I think I've said this before. I fucking, all this time, I haven't fixed the ferret's foot. There's fucking some alliteration for you. I haven't fixed the ferret's foot. I just copped it there. Like, I need to fix his fucking feet. What colour is that? That was like a fucking mixed colour, wasn't it? Bit of fucking... I used yellow ochre and burnt sienna or some shit. Like, it's like a pale brown. Gotta get in shower, but I'll be listening. Just don't peek. Trust me, Margie. Even if I could, I wouldn't. Okay, I think I've got it. Yeah, I need to really cool this color down. Did I use yellow? I probably used yellow. Painting. Goo goo. I'm dying to get a hold of that fucking fluid matte stuff now to test my theory. It's not even a theory. I mean, it's like it's supposed to do what it says it does. Hopefully, it works. But if I get anything even close to the result that I'm hoping I get, then I'm gonna be very, very excited and happy. A dash of lemon yellow. No, we're getting into a mustard range there. I must have just cooled it down with white. Ooh. I think there's some red in there. How the f... Did I mix the opera red with something? I don't think I did. But how the fuck did I get that pale brown? Painting. Yeah, I think I must have put some red in there or something, even some pink, like. Yeah, there we go. Okay. It's like I used white to cool down some red in the brown. Okay. Still a bit off though. Painting, goo 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 goo. Too pink. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Needs to be a bit paler now. Sometimes it can be so hard to try and match a shade that you got before. It's fun though. It's like trying to find a mine in Minesweeper or something. You're like, I know it's here somewhere. I mean, come on. And it's like, oh, there it is. There we go. That's pretty much it. Gorgeous. Beautiful. Painting goo goo. Yeah, that looks way better. At least they're like roughly the same size now. Much better. Right, my little Nazi friends. Am I the only one that thinks Nazi penguins are adorable looking? Just imagine them all going like with their little flippers. Like marching, but they're like waddling and shit. Like, sick. Oh, my sip is all gone. Right, no more caffeine. We're on the agua now. Ugh. My ass. Oh, God. There isn't a pillow soft enough for sitting for 3 hours. Oh, jokey. Do do. Painting. Goo goo. Goo goo. Okay, we got our orca. Ferret's feet just need to be finished. We have our Nazi penguins. I'm gonna put another layer of orange in this nigga's feet. Oh, glorious! Orange is a colour I love mixing. There's just something about seeing the yellow and the red meet each other, and then it's just like orange. It's just like there's an effect it has on my eye or something where I'm just like, whoa, that's nice. I get the similar effect when I mix sky blue and like light bright green, or no, sky blue and lemon yellow. And you get bright green, like a vibrant green, and it's so satisfying. It's beautiful. Try a little bit more. I pretty much got the shade. Like, it's a little off, but I pretty much got it. Where's that other fucking thing I was using the other day? Where'd you go? I find you. This shit's lit. This shit's lit, yo.
So, what's your deal?
My deal?
I wonder what the gravy and it seems like there's some gravy in that movie. Infrared, the dude from The Boys, and He Can't Feel Pain. Why is it called infrared? Is that what they treated him with, like infrared shit, or now he can't feel pain or something? I don't know. Like, I'm interested. I want to watch it. It's not often now that I see a trailer and I'm like, I actually want to watch that. Yeah, this shit's nice. Painting goo goo goo. Painting goo goo goo. Paint goo, paint goo. Painting goo goo goo. Painting goo goo goo. Oh, glorious! Much better. Much better. I think we can call this one done. Yeah? Sign this bitch. Oh, I was going to put a chunky seal in this, wasn't I? I could put a hilarious looking spherical seal. A spherical derpy looking seal right here. What's the time? Oh yeah, okay. We'll do a seal and then call it quits. Ah! Somebody has a paid-for painting-gu! Glorious! Who has honor this day? Who has our honor this day? Oh, Big Tipu! The one... I love that. The one who stabs. Oh, Staburo-sama, you bring a much honor to yourself. My boss has abreast me with another shift on Saturday, so I'm passing on my good fortune. Have a great holiday week off, brother. Ah, domo arigato. Domo arigato, Staburo-sama. You have a much honor. I fear thereof. I too hope that you and your fam have a glorious time not celebrating Christmas. I was about to say, have a really nice Christmas. You don't celebrate Christmas, do you? I hope you have a great time at church talking about how pagan fucking Christmas is. What's that one? Oh yeah, touch me. Satisfaction. I couldn't think of the song there for a second. Just a little spritz. You're going skiing! Glorious! Never gone skiing before. I'd like to try skiing. I've always wanted to try snowboarding. Really, you know. but I definitely try skiing. Encourage him to dry a bit. And put the finishing touches on him. A fine white activity, indeed. Snow or water? Snow, probably. Although I wouldn't be surprised if it's water. He's like so anti-Christmas. It's like, we're going skiing! Snow on snow! Snow? Heretic! Did Jesus walk on snow? No, he walked on water. So we're skiing on water. Won't hear now, got a dry hair. Let's all just start bitching about Margie, calling her like, everybody just start going on like Margie's a bitch. Cause she can't hear it. Just imagine you drying your hair after a shower and we're all just talking about how much we hate you. Obviously it's a jest. We love you, Margie. Your patronage to PEINTEINGU is gloriously appreciated. I'm just taking the piss. I'm drying my hair now, I won't be able to hear you. Quickly! Get every insult you can think of! If you're made fun of by those, it means you are loved. Yes and no. I mean, like we mocked the fuck out of the elf, and rightly so, you know. And I don't love that nigga. Like, I don't wish him any ill will, but like, I've no love for him. Like, but we do love you, Marge. For the moment.
It's a religion. To others, it's the practice of evil in the devil's name. This is not a Halloween fable. This is a real-life horror story.
Even if you're this ginger twat. Ears are back. We said nothing remotely negative while you were deaf. I promise. Oh, glorious. It doesn't even look that derpy. It looks kind of derpy, but mainly cute. It'll do. Like. Could be a seal, could be a walrus. Who knows? Shh, she's back. Right. We have a briefly seen fucking snapshot of a clearly very advanced flying craft, probably equipped with many laser guns. But we have our Nazi penguins. We have a yawning orca. A acid-tripping ferret. A very offensive flag. And just a chunky seal treading water. She'll do just fine. The cute derp bridge is established. Of course you didn't. You're a bear. It's like... The funny thing is we didn't actually say anything bad. we joked about, you know, how funny it would be if we did say bad stuff, but then didn't say anything bad. Oh god. And just because somebody's a bear, don't assume that they're like infallible or will do no bad. Like, do you know what I mean? There's been plenty of LARPing psychopaths in the bear community that like that whole meme of like, "Hey, fellow bears, I just want to fucking..." Like, the level of creep of some people on the internet is crazy. Like, the bear community in most ways is no different to any other community, but in one singular way, I would say that like it has the highest percentage of like genuine honorable people, as far as like most groups in existence go, at least right now. But it doesn't mean it doesn't have like twats and psychopaths. It looks like a water dog. Isn't that what a seal is? Kind of. Look, it's a wet puppy. Sign this thing. Right, the Antartican Spatula Ferret has been completed. Tomorrow, when PEINTEINGU returns, we shall complete the, what's this? Where did we land? Tunisian Swordman. Tunisian Snowfish. Tunisian Snowfish, yeah? Swordfish, Eggplant, Snowman. Tunisian Eggfish. Tunisian Snow Eggs. Tunisian Swordman. I don't know. I'll decide later. But we're gonna finish this bitch tomorrow. I'm gonna put gouache over it and see how that works out. I'm gonna hold on to, like, I'm not gonna use the paints Emmanuel got me or my other acrylics. I'm gonna save them till I get a hold of some of that matte stuff to see how it works. I'm quite excited. No, I've caught water dogs before. There's a thing called a dogfish, isn't there? Or something like, I don't know. Is there water dogs? I don't know. I'll Google it, and it'll lie to me. Right, my beloved Japanites, that is all we have for PEINTEINGU today. I shall return. Same timer, same pricer, same high-octane PEINTEINGU energy. Tomorrow, 3 PM GMT. Be there if you have any honor. Right. You know what to do. Smash that like button like it has insulted your ancestors. And remember to like her, subscribe her, and share her, the goo. Remind your fellow fierty mortars the meaning of truth, beauty, honor, and friendship. You too can be friends with a Nazi penguin. Right. If you have any honor, you will pay for PEINTEINGU, and I will see you again tomorrow.